Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share our personal cruise tips and reviews to help you make the most out of your next sailing. My name's Kieran, I'm an independent travel agent specializing in all things cruise, Disney, and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I write cruise tips and advice over at Cruising for All Cruising with Kids, and also travel over at Mini Travelers.
Ah, brilliant. Okay, and then Sarah, do you want to introduce this week's episode since it's my turn to show off and make you really jealous of where I am in the world?
So last week I was filming from the sea on Married of the Seas, but today it's Kieran's turn and he is on a Virgin Voyage. So Kieran, what ship are you on?
So I am on board Scarlet Lady, so that's the original Virgin Voyages ship, and we are currently sailing the Irresistible Med Itinerary, which is a 7-night sailing from Barcelona round trip, basically, going to, where have we been? We've been to Toulon, we've been to Marina de Carrera, Ajaccio, and we left Ajaccio yesterday in Corsica, and we are currently very slowly, Virgin don't like to get anywhere in a hurry, but we are very slowly making our way to Ibiza for our overnight in Ibiza tomorrow night.
Amazing. So have you got any plans for Ibiza?
So we're on a group basically. So I knew this. I'd won this trip basically as a fam trip with Virgin Voyages, but it's basically for the top agencies in the UK. So very, very grateful and honored to be here. I love working with Virgin. So we are hosted on this trip. So we've had access to things like Richard's Rooftop, the VIP area. So the plan is when we get into Ibiza, we're all going to have the tapas together as a group to kind of go do that together. And then it's free time off after that to go on and off and explain. So I think I've been roped into going to Pikes, which apparently, and you may know this because I didn't know this, but that's where the Club Tropicana music video was filmed.
Oh, right. No, I've never been to Ibiza. Obviously, you know, I'm not party, so.
No.
But wow, that'll be amazing to visit. I wonder if it looks similar, or you'd have to send me a picture.
I say I've never been to Pikes before. I'm not really one to kind of go out to the Ibiza club scene just because it's so expensive. So one of the people in the group with us, she goes every time she comes to Ibiza with Virgin. But I was quite surprised, actually. It's free to get into. You just have to sign up to a guest list beforehand. If you make the pre-registration guest list, you're guaranteed entry to it. And then it's just a case of paying for your drinks once you're there. The only downside to it is you have to get a taxi from kind of the old town to where Pikes is. So that's one of the costs you have to factor in. You can't drive there. They don't allow you to, type of thing. So actually, it could actually be a really reasonable way to spend the night in Ibiza. I'm not going to spend it all night because I need to get up the next morning. But I'm definitely going to go there and see what it's about and experience it. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, amazing. So as a non-Virgin cruiser, tell me a bit about the ship.
The ship is a mid-sized ship. I don't know the exact gross tonnage. I can never remember figures like that off the top of my head, but she holds 2,700 sailors, as Virgin like to call us. We're not guests, we're sailors. And I think it's a crew complement of about 1,200. So it's usually around about a 2-to-1 crew to guest or crew to sailor ratio. So the level of service is really high on board Virgin Voyages, and they have a kind of a lot of space per guest on board as well. So it's kind of like that whole celebrity vibe as well type of thing. They build mid-sized ships and they don't invite as many guests on board just to make sure that everybody's got lots of space to kind of unwind and relax. Virgin Voyages, as people hopefully know, is an adult-only cruise line, so you have to be 18 plus to sail on board Virgin Voyages on all of their itineraries around the world, which, big perk, no kids, which means no kids clubs, no kids spaces. So very much the atmosphere, the vibe on board, the sense of humor on board is very much kind of playfully adult. But it's very much kind of boutique luxe as well on board, so it's all very premium spirits, premium drinks, premium dining. It's all specialty level dining on board. There's no main dining room. There's no buffet. It's all very elevated dining and entertainment on board.
Right. Okay. So when you say like about the entertainment, are there shows or do they do the shows differently?
So each of the ships has their own entertainment offering, kind of just to make them all. That's how they differentiate the ships. So physically, the ships are identical. They offer the same bars, the same restaurants, that type of thing. And what they've done is then each ship has its own schedule of entertainment. So on board Scarlet Lady, you have a show. One of the headline shows is called Dual Reality. And their theatre is a transforming theatre space, the Red Room. So you kind of sit in bleachers on either side of it type of thing. So you've got kind of like the one team versus the other team sat across from each other. And it's kind of like an acrobatic performance, which is kind of a retelling of the Romeo and Juliet story as well. So the two different sides kind of fight off against each other. And it's kind of, there's the hidden meaning behind it all is about kind of falling in love and trusting your heart and trusting the person you love and not letting prejudices define the person you should fall in love with. So very much kind of like West Side Story, Romeo Juliet, that kind of trusting your heart type of thing, but done to these really great, over the top, death defying acrobatic performances. So that's kind of the headline show on board this ship. And then you've also got one of my favorite shows at sea, which is Untitled Dance Show Party Thing, which I think we talked about in a previous episode. But again, you go into the red room, there's no seats to watch into it. You kind of stand around the theatre space, and this dance performance piece just happens all around you. Literally, the stages are transforming, stages are moving. There's kind of really cool effects everywhere. It's very chaotic, and that's by nature type of thing. It's meant to be very intimate and very challenging. And I mean challenging not in a kind of challenging you, but it's just challenging your perception of what entertainment could be on a ship type of thing. So on this ship, and there's also, Ships in the Night, which is more a traditional style show, where you do sit theatre style, again in the red room. So again, they bring out all the seats in a typical theatre style. And that is more of a musical cabaret performance show type of thing. That's only on this ship. I've seen it once before, not on this sailing. But that's a really cool show as well. So really beautiful singers, performers, dancers. That's more traditional style of entertainment that show is.
So do they do stuff? I mean, because I know that Virgin pride themselves on not being a cruise line per se. So do they do stuff like, I don't know, trivia or pop quizzes, or is that stuff they just don't do? Like, what goes on? Is there small bits of entertainment going on?
Yep, absolutely as well then. So throughout all the different venue spaces then as well, you have kind of live music, live bands. So there's a couple of bands who've been on board other sailings before. So you've got, I forgot his name now, but he's like a swing, blues, jazz singer type of thing. So he'll pop up at different spaces. So sometimes he could just be doing something in the on the rocks, which is the kind of bar in the main heart of the ship type of thing. So he'll be performing there in the evenings. Sometimes he could be in the Manor, which is the nightclub. So he'll be doing a full performance in the nightclub type of thing. They've got small acoustic duos as well, or trios. So they'll just be popping up in the different lounges during the daytime, kind of relaxing background music, or they could then be in one of the lounges in the evening and then doing like a full-on music performance piece. You then have a team of entertainment staff called the Happenings Cast. So they're kind of like the entertainment team on board Virgin Voyages, and each one of them has a different role. So, for example, you have the hostess, who's going to be the main vocalist. So the hostess will be singing in kind of the cabaret style shows. So you can go into the Manor, the nightclub, and watch the hostess sings the secrets, which is a very kind of camp, playful, sexy song and dance show, basically hosted by the hostess. You have the diva, the onboard drag queen. So again, the diva will be hosting quizzes as well across the ship. So they have one which is, I forgot the name of it now, but it's to do with coffee. I really forgot the name of it, but it's like a coffee one, basically. It's kind of a trivia quiz about coffee from around the world, where you got to playfully make cocktails using coffee ingredients type of thing. So she'll host that, but she also does 80 minutes around the world with a diva as well, which is a really high energy camp drag performance show that happens in the Manor as well. You've got the foodie. So the foodie will be hosting all the food events on board. So kind of any of the typical, so like you want to do like a food tasting class, you could do all that stuff, and that's hosted by the foodie. We're actually doing one tomorrow, which is you get to make some food, but then they also do a photography class then with the influencers, which are the other members of the Happenings Cast, who will teach you how to use your phone to take photos of food then as well. So they do kind of little spins on their entertainment like that. So it's not just straightforward tasting classes. There's always some sort of like Instagram spin on it, or entertainment spin on some of their food classes.
Right, that's really cool. So what's your favourite part of the ship?
For me, and we've been talking about it quite a lot as a group type of thing. So some of the people who are with us have never sailed with Virgin Voyages before, and this is like my 9th Virgin Voyage, so I've been on it a few times now. And it's the come as you are. We talk about it. So everyone keeps saying, what's the dress code? What's the dress code? And our sales reps from Virgin keep saying, come as you are, basically. And you know, kind of when you go on some cruise lines, the dress code is a bit more kind of cruise casual. You're expected to kind of wear chinos and dress a certain way to kind of just dress up in the evening. Virgin have a come as you are dress code. So it's as long as obviously you're wearing clothes, that's implied, but you can dress up however you want type of thing. So whatever your unique fashion is, like I've been wearing like leather trousers with a shirt type of thing to go to dinner. It's very much kind of embracing of your individual style. Some people are coming quite dressed casual with a pair of like chino shorts and a t-shirt. Some people are dressing up to the nines and they're getting their glam on, they're getting their hair done, they're wearing dresses, and they're really dressing up to go out as if they're going out on the town type of thing. Everyone's allowed to just embrace their own individualism, rather than some cruise lines where it's kind of everyone looks kind of the same. They're all wearing some sort of shirt or polo shirt or something like that. It seems, even though it could potentially go horribly wrong, I think the nature of the price point for Virgin Voyages being a premium product, the type of people who are coming on board generally are, they make a bit of effort. Nobody looks scruffy, which is what I thought would happen. Everyone looks really smart, but they're doing it in their own individual way. Everyone loves dressing up still, but they do it in a really fun, kind of like Miami chic is the best way I can explain it, kind of way where you
Yeah,
may be wearing chinos and like a patterned shirt for the men or something like that.
that's really good, isn't it? So yeah, and having that choice. I mean, I like getting dressed up, but it's not for everybody, is it?
And still, you see people do. Some people do. I've seen people going out to dinner in suits.
Yeah. What about your cabin?
So I'm in my cabin at the moment. I was on the balcony. I'm in my hammock, but unfortunately the Wi-Fi's played up. But I am in a central sea terrace, which is going to be kind of in the middle of the ship. So they're kind of the prime central location balcony cabins. I've got a cabin for two by myself, which is very nice. I like having the space to spread out. I do have loads of cabin tours. I have cabin tours of pretty much every cabin in the main categories anyway, everything from an inside through to a sea terrace on board my YouTube channel. I really like the cabins on board Virgin. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea because they like to have like fixed wardrobes where you can close the doors on them. Virgin's wardrobes have like a curtain you draw closed instead. But I was speaking to, again, our sales reps today this week, and they were explaining kind of with the designer of the cabins of how they've made conscious choices to not put doors on the wardrobes because then that takes up a lot of extra space that you don't need. So by just putting a curtain on there, but still giving you all the storage space you need, they're actually allowing then a more wider opening into the cabin when you step in, so that when you step in, you're greeted by more of the cabin space rather than your wardrobes blocking the entrance as you come in, or it's kind of taking up space in your room, sorry. So there's a lot of like thoughtful touches like that kind of just make it feel really cozy and elevated. So yeah, it's difficult to
Right.
explain it because it's like a Santa Cruz cabin, but just with a few different touches.
It's just because so many. Well, I suppose we've all got our favourite cruise lines, haven't we? So I've never cruised Virgin, and how can people be open to it if you don't explain it? It's there'll be people listening that think, oh yeah, I might give that a go. It's good to hear what other people's views are.
No, definitely. And we say this all the time on the podcast. Like, we have our favorites. There's no denying that we are very much premium cruise fans. We love the cruise lines we love, but we would never, ever discourage anybody else for liking a different cruise line at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, we're very vocal. We say what we like, but we can also play the devil's advocate and say, yeah, you can have a fantastic time on other cruise lines. And I've really embraced Virgin Voyages. As you know, I probably do your head in talking about them all the time, but I've really embraced what they're doing and what they're bringing to the cruise industry. They're bringing something new and fresh, and they're trying something a little bit differently. But when we had Shane on, Shane himself said it, at its heart, at the very heart of what Virgin Voyages is, it is still a cruise line. It is still a cruise ship that goes to fantastic destinations, offers entertainment, offers food and drink, and takes you to amazing destinations. That is the heart of what it is. Everything else is all soft touches. You know, the fact they've got their transformational seabed, so the bed can become a sofa during the daytime, again, to give you more room in your cabin during the daytime if you're kind of entertaining or relaxing, and then becomes a bed at nighttime. That is a bit of a gimmick, but it's just another way that Virgin Voyages have kind of gone to try and go, what can we do a little bit differently? Again, we've talked about it in the past, but like there's no tannoy announcements apart from the beginning of the sailing where the captain comes on and just gives you the safety announcement. Have you done your muster drill type of thing? But then after that, you don't get any announcements. So you don't get the 12 o'clock weather announcement, which I've joked about this so many times before, but I could tell you the weather. I can open my curtain and have a look at the weather. I don't need the captain telling me at midday what the weather is. Quite passionate about that one. But you're not the upsell. Virgin are very anti-upsell type of thing. So you're not getting bombarded every time to buy a drinks package, to buy a dining package, because there is no dining package. It's all specialty level dining type of thing. The spa is hidden away. It's out of sight on purpose, because for those who want to spa and indulge in the retox, as Virgin call it, the detox retox, you can go find the spa, you can go find the nail salon, but you're not going to walk past them every day and have somebody bombarding you to get your nails done, get your hair done type of thing. It's very, very subtle on the upsell type of thing. There are absolutely ways you can treat yourself, and that's what they call them. They call them your treat yourselves. So on like every menu, even though it's all speciality, so we went to the Wake last night, the Onboard Steakhouse. There was a T-bone steak, and the T-bone steak had an extra charge. But I still had a filet mignon, and I still had kind of, all the triple cooked chips. I had asparagus. So everything you would normally pay for kind of somewhere on another cruise line for their steak experience, that is just one of the 6 main eateries on board, and it's included as standard. But if I wanted to have the seafood platter or the T-bone steak, I could pay the extra money to do that if I wanted to.
And how much extra was that for the T-bone steak?
I can't remember, it's about $60 off the top of my head to kind of
Right.
upgrade to that if you wanted it. But you had a choice of 3 different cuts of steak already on the standard menu included.
Right. Just having two sons that are obsessed with steak. but, but then saying that fillet is a really good cut, isn't it? So that's good to be included.
And that's the thing I love about it as well. We've talked about it. We're very happy to pay that little bit more maybe to get on board the ship. But then a lot is included for that value for money. Like the 6 main eateries, you've got a Korean barbecue, you've got a steakhouse, an Italian, a Mexican, test kitchen, which is a unique concept to Virgin Voyages, and it's really cool. It's like a gastro, molecular science restaurant, which is a lot of fun. And there's one more that I always forget. Oh, Razzle Dazzle, sorry, which is a vegetarian forward / American comfort casual eatery as well.
Do you know what? If there was one thing that could make me go on a Virgin cruise, it would be the test kitchen, because that's the thing that I've seen and thought I'd like that. So I think that'd be the thing that could tempt me, the food.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me about the pools then, because I watched your live this morning, and obviously there was a lot of controversy over the pool, and I don't like red, so red's not my colour. But then I saw the other pool that you were around this morning. I thought, oh, that looks really nice. Why has no one shared a picture of that ever in the world?
It's so gin and tonic. So there's technically for the public anyway. If you're not in the Richards rooftop area, there are 2 main pools. And you've got the Aquatic Club, which is the main pool that everyone sees. That's where the big Scarlet Night party happens, and that's the pool that in pictures looks tiny. But you can fit like 50 plus people in that pool. Like, honestly, it's a lot bigger than photos make it look. It looks really small. But he's also got kind of a little paddle area around the outside edge. On a sea day, don't get me wrong, like I was up there this morning when I did that live around about, I think it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and all those day beds were gone. People had cleaned them with the towels type of thing, which typical cruise behavior type of thing. But there's loads of sunbeds around there. That will be kind of where the DJ will be performing. So during the daytime, it's kind of Ibiza chill music. And then kind of in the afternoon, they start picking the vibe up. A live DJ comes out and it gets a little bit more kind of like a party club, beach club atmosphere there. That pool, I think there's no denying Virgin don't have swimming pools. You're not going to be coming on board a Virgin Voyages ship and getting your morning laps in. That's not a pool. Virgin haven't built pools that big. Their pools are very much for lounging in, cooling down in. They're very much casual, sitting down, having a chat with a drink type of thing. They're not get up in the morning, do your laps, fitness pools type of thing. There's plenty of fitness on board. Group fitness classes are included, spin classes, TRX. There's no extra charge for those things, but definitely not. Virgin's not a pool ship. Definitely not.
So what about the other pool upstairs? Because that was the one that I thought looked lovely.
Oh, the little one. So that's next to it basically. So you've got that big one, and then literally the opposite side of the bar, there's a 2-sided bar. That's then gym and tonic, and it's called that because it overlooks the 2 gyms. There's like a resistance gym and a cardio gym on either side of that. And then in the middle, you've got that pool then. So that is like it looks like a giant hot tub, but it's basically a pool with a giant X in it that you can sit in, and then 2 hot tubs type of thing. So again, it's just another little smaller pool area. That's where I like to spend my day. I like gym and tonic just because it's a bit quieter, but you can still hear the music from the main pool, but you're not in the music type of thing. But you can get that's where your frozen cocktails are going to be. So your pina coladas. One of my favorites is the Frosé, which is like a frozen rosé.
Oh,
Devour them when I'm on board.
Oh, I love one of those now. I'm still in cocktail mode. I've not got out of it.
I've left mine on the balcony.
Go and get it.
I've literally, my Prosecco I opened, I've left it on the balcony opened and haven't drunk it.
So what about the demographic? What is the demographic on the ship?
It definitely skews younger than the cruise average. So obviously cruise tends to attract a more mature across the board, we're talking now, demographic. But Virgin, I've seen people from 18 right the way through to 80 type of thing. It really does attract all ages. I would say the core is going to be in the 40 territory just because of the premium product. So kind of a lot of the younger market, like your 20-year-olds, they may not necessarily be able to afford to get on board because it is like the 7-night sailing in pounds starts at around about, say, $2,000, something like that for a 7-night sailing. So it definitely has a premium price point. There's no denying that. But from who would love to get on board and who enjoys it, I've seen all ages. I think the one thing you need to come on board with Virgin Voyages, because it is very different to some cruise lines, you have to have a very open mind. You have to be very relaxed about things type of thing. The schedule doesn't work like most cruise lines. So it's not like you're going to have your first seating, second seating, and the entertainment isn't planned around that. It's very much planned around a night out in town. So meals take longer because it's all cooked fresh to order. It's not one of those you're in and out of the dining room within 60
Mm.
minutes. Rarely happens on board Virgin. It's very much a casual, longer meal duration. Most meals are 3, 4, 5 courses. It's very much that type of take your time, slow pace, have a wander around, enjoy a few drinks. If you like that style of just making time, doing things with the fly, then Virgin's great for you. But if you're somebody who likes going pool, this activity, that activity, Virgin isn't built like that. It is intentional. It drives some people crazy, but it's not built that way.
I've definitely noticed on the last couple of cruises I've been on, and maybe it's the cruise lines that we choose, but the demographic has been so much younger, which is really refreshing to see, isn't it? When everybody's
Definitely.
your age, a bit younger, or it surprised me actually. I think it's shifting cruising, and the people it's attracted has changed so much in the last 15 years.
100%. There was a report that came out, I think, via Clear or maybe one of the trade presses where they're saying that, particularly Royal Caribbean, they're leading the forefront of attracting kind of a younger crowd with the fact they're building new ships. They're building contemporary ships with kind of a lot of spaces that are more appealing to kind of a younger demographic, which is obviously alienating the more mature market. But I think brands like Royal, Virgin, to some extent now Celebrity, are definitely doing a fantastic job of catering to a younger demographic than the traditional mature cruiser, which as you say, I love that. I love the fact that I can come on board Virgin and not feel like I'm surrounded by the, mature sailors. Nothing wrong with them. It's just a reason why I love that Virgin makes me feel like a young cruiser.
Different vibe, isn't it? And I think it just works as there's something for everybody, and you're not feeling like you're going on holiday on Cocoon.
No, do you get what I mean? And that's not,
that's happened to me once, and but everybody's got to find their own cruise line, and I think that works.
Yeah.
And the people that are young at heart will automatically gravitate towards the lines that have got a younger demographic.
100%.
No matter what your age, it's not about your age; it's about your mindset. And I see that in some of the groups, the controversial group, that is a particular brand, that all they do is slate people with kids, younger people.
Yep.
They don't like them around them, so that, I suppose, naturally people are splitting and going what works for them, which is what cruising's all about, what travel's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about finding something you enjoy and looking at the key things. And, you do this with your blog when you're writing your content. You talk about who would enjoy this, what's the age, what's the demographic. I'm the same. When a customer comes to me and says, I'm looking for a cruise and I want to do these things, I'm constantly going, okay, maybe you're more of a Fred Olsen customer because you want that quieter small ship experience, or you're a bit younger, you want more of the drinks culture, food culture. You're going to like a brand like Virgin or Celebrity. It is about finding the right cruise line. There are so many cruise lines out there, and there is no right or wrong. No one cruise line is bad or awful, because you could put somebody on a 6-star cruise line and they could have a terrible time because they don't like that fine dining, elevated, curated experience. They want something fast, casual, simple, fun, lively, bubbly type of thing. It's not as simple as just cheap, expensive. It's what's the right cruise for that individual.
You mentioned Celebrity then. Is that who you would put Virgin on a par with? Because you've been on all of the cruise lines, so is that where you'd put it?
I think from a kind of experience point of view, if you get me, from that premium product, I definitely think there's a lot of parallels between them. So I always kind of refer to Virgin as kind of a 5-star premium cruise line. So Celebrity, Prince, Virgin, in my opinion, I put them in similar. However, as you can already tell, all 3 of those lines will do what they do very differently. And they both cater to very different types of customers, if you get what I mean. So I love Celebrity, I love Princess, I love Virgin. I am bit of a cruise snob and I love premium cruise, but I would say they're in that bracket of elevated experience. They all talk about elevated premium cruising, and I think those 3 cruise lines are in that kind of experience of how you feel on board. You're paying a bit more to get on board, but you're getting a lot more extra value for what you're paying for as well.
That's really interesting, because I wouldn't put Princess above Royal Caribbean. I'd have put them at the same level. Funny how the perception
Royal class themselves as a premium cruise line, and I definitely think they are. I'm not saying they're not. I think maybe where I maybe skew that Royal and maybe a little bit more, not entry level, I think more accessible is the word I would use. And I mean accessible to a wider audience, because they're very multi-generational. They have their kids on board experience as well. I think I look more purely as like the more mature, as in targeting adults. And I think that's just my personal preference kicking in now. I love Royal. I think Royal's fantastic, but when I look for a adult cruise where I'm less likely to come across kids, I would always go Celebrity, Princess, Virgin would be my choices. I still think Royal fits in that category, but I
I
think
agree.
I
Yeah.
think these I
Yeah.
think Virgin is maybe a little bit more elevated in its experience than Royal, but that's not a knock at Royal. But it's just pure. It's soft. It's a
Yeah.
soft like how things feel rather than it's a
Yeah.
they're better than.
It's a perception, isn't it? It's just interesting, I suppose, because for us now, I know this we're talking about Virgin, but we're teetering between royal and
Mm,
celebrity because we're traveling with our
yep.
kids now, and we had an amazing experience last week. But then I'm looking forward to my next a celebrity cruise as well as a royal. It's the different
And
experiences. So, what is your highlight of this cruise?
so I've done shore things for the first time ever. Me and Phil don't do shore things. We just get off and wander around. So shore things, sorry, is Virgin terminism. It's what they call excursions. So we've done. We went to where did we go? Positiano. We went to in Marina de Carrera. So we went to San Margarita, and then we took a ferry from there, then down to Positiano, and that was beautiful. It was raining, so we were kind of sat underneath an umbrella eating pizza in Positiano. But as we were leaving, the sun came out and it was glorious. Yesterday, we went to, I can't remember how you call it now, but we went on a coach tour into the mountains, basically. I want to say it's through Pirelli. But we did a coach tour kind of through there and we got off at different like scenic spots basically to take pictures. But weather was gorgeous. We went and overlooked a massive lake, a waterfall. We got to try some local food as part of that tour as well. That was lovely. So it was quite nice to kind of maybe go a bit further than I usually would and kind of explore beyond just that initial kind of cruise port and town. But all of the
Mm.
ports and all the Virgins, they either bus you into the local hub or you stop right in the heart of kind of that town. So if you just want to pop off and explore the local marina or the local community, you can. It's just been nice this trip to go further afield and kind of get to go to places like Saint Tropez, Positiano, and explore kind of a little bit more further afield.
Right, yeah, yeah. And then sometimes you just need to do what are they
Sure
called?
thing, they call them. Yeah,
Sure thing.
yeah. Everything you kind of get used to, and I forget sometimes.
Yeah,
Like
excursion, trip, whatever you
I'm
want to.
so in bed with the Virgin Voyages brand now that there are so many things now. And you joke about it all the time, like I call things a voyage rather than a sailing or a cruise. They call us sailors. We're first
Yeah,
mates, not travel agents. They have shore things. They have sailor loop,
yeah,
not onboard credit. At first, I was very much a bit like, guys, can we just call a spade a spade? And again, it goes back to this kind of like elevated experience type of thing of that's their way of saying we're a little bit different. We curate the whole experience from the second you get on
yeah.
board, even while pre-boarding to post-boarding, all these little terminisms. And Disney
True.
do it as well. Disney, you're a guest, you're not a customer. They're cast, they're not staff. Have magical
True.
moments type of thing, whereas Virgin have their excite and delight moments, these little hidden moments that
Mm.
you have to secretly get invited to. They call them excite and delights. So there's this whole curated experience
Yeah.
around kind of the Virgin experience, and it just makes you feel this is a little bit more special. And it's very conscious, and I've just learned to run with it now, and I kind of all these terminisms kick in all the time.
I'm really curious who the person was that sat down and decided all that. It's
So
just,
apparently, the guy who helped design the Virgin Voyages guest experience was the same person who designed Disney Cruise Line. From what I've researched and what I've looked into it, so the person who kind of came up with things like Pirate Night on
well,
board Disney Cruise Line and the way that you greeted onto a Disney cruise ship, he's the same person who curated
yeah,
the Virgin Voyages experience. So that's why I see it, and other people say how, but I pointed out to them
right.
there's a lot of similarities with how Disney make you feel on board their ships to how Virgin make you feel on board the ships. Just obviously, one's very much curated at being the best
Right.
family vacation. Virgin is the best, in my opinion, the best adult-only cruise vacation. Tonight is my favorite night on board the ship. So tonight is Scarlet Night, which is, in my opinion,
Okay.
the best deck party on any cruise I've ever been to. And I think personally, and I'm biased because I get absolutely drunk out of my mind and party until 4 a.m. every time, is the best party on any ship type of thing. I love Scarlet Night and I'm really excited. Kind of had an early night last night because I was very tired after our shore things and needed time to recover. But we were all saying we need to relax, be rested and rejuvenated, ready for Scarlet Night. So I'm really looking forward to that tonight.
And is that like Virgin's version of a formal night or a white party night? Or
Kind of, yeah. So Scarlet Knight, they say wear a splash of red. So again, and that very much come as you are dress code, wear a splash of red. So everyone on the ship will wear something red, whether it's a t-shirt or full-on outfits, full-on looks type of thing. Some people go really overboard and really get into it. But it is a ship-wide party. It is technically optional. They now counter schedule. So if you've done Scarlet Knight and don't want to do it again, there is other shows available for you to go watch and not get involved in if you don't want to. But I would say 90% of the ship gets into the spirit of it, wearing something red. All the corridors change to red. All your balcony lights are changed to red. So from 9 o'clock onwards, it begins. There's an announcement and a show that happens in the heart of the ship called the roundabout. So kind of the middle of the ship. And then there's just loads of little pop-up events then throughout, literally everywhere, throughout all the main kind of entertainment decks. They do dance performances on the aft of the ship. They do kind of little secret events you can get invited to. And there is a storyline. That's interwoven throughout all these events, and it's all about the octopus goddess, who is the protector of the oceans ultimately, and how come a sailor fell in love with the octopus goddess, and they kind of have this tragic love story where he tried to dive down into her oceans and unfortunately drowned on the way type of thing. So she lifted his body up into the sky and he became the moon. And every Scarlet Night we celebrate the love tale of the octopus goddess and the drowned sailor. And this is all told. So you go meet the hostess, who is the octopus goddess for the night, and she sings this, tells you this story basically via a song performance, like a cabaret show. And then it all culminates around about 10:30, if the weather's good, on the pool deck, where there's this giant inflatable octopus at the end of it type of thing. And all the performers from the different shows, they all come together, do a big dance performance around the pool. And then there's basically like an hour-long deck party where people are jumping in the pool. It's dancers everywhere. It's just so much fun. And then it all finishes off in the manor type of thing. So there's a really cool storyline behind it. It's just this really nice theatrical performance. It's so much fun.
Every time you tell me that story, I just imagine the person that wrote it must have been on acid. that I imagine is what it must be like to be on acid.
It's just this.
I haven't, but you know, when you stuff like, think, what creative brain have you got to come up with that? And I'm creative.
I think it's done a lot more classically. That it's done really classy the way that it's told, and it's very optional. The storyline, you can go and not understand a clue. All it is at the very top level is people dancing everywhere, music, drinks, fun. That is the top level of it. I've just been on so many times, and I've seen, I would say, every single one of the activations you can go to. So I now know the full storyline. But you don't learn all this in one sitting type of thing. You've got to be invited on the VIP track to be taken to all these. I've just drunkenly walked into a room and I'm like, so what's happening here then? And okay, that's what this storyline is. It's very, very kind of subtly done. It's not in your face type of thing. At its heart, it is just an incredible party across the whole ship. And I love it. I just think it's a really beautiful tale as well. And we are guided through on Safe Passage through Scarlet Night by the octopus goddess, who comes out and sings a big number before it all goes a bit crazy and everyone jumps in the pool.
I'm glad we're not filming this tomorrow because there would be a very different Kieran tomorrow.
You won't see me tomorrow. If I am out of we'll see. But I've really gone to bed before 3 a.m. on Scarlet Night because the atmosphere is just so electric. Like everyone just gets into, even if you don't understand what's going on, it's just, and you know what, like white parties, all these events, they're just really nice ways to kind of everyone get in the theme, have a bit of a fun, get together type of thing. And it's heart. That is what Scarlet Night is. It is a white party with red. But everyone just gets into the atmosphere. It's really fun. And luckily, it's normally scheduled with a sea day or a half sea day the following day. Because trust me, if anyone's up for breakfast before 9, people enjoy it. Even if people go to bed after the pool party, people still get up and everyone loves Scarlet Night on board Virgin. It's become such a tentpole event on board every voyage now.
Oh, that's amazing. Is it set or do you just find out?
So you know about it in advance.
Do they set it in stone?
Yeah, it changes on itinerary. So basically in the Med, it is on a Thursday usually, because then Friday is when you do your overnight in Ibiza. So on the Med, it's pretty much rigid. Typically, if you're ever trying to work it out, and I've got quite good at this now, but typically it's kind of, if there's a series of ports and then a sea day, 9 times out of 10, it will be on that last port day with a sea day following it. That's just typically how Scarlet Night works. But yeah, you will know. So when you book your cruise, you may not know when you're booking it, but once you get access to the app and you can start seeing your itinerary, generally 9 times out of 10, Scarlet Night will already be in there. So you know what night Scarlet Night's going to be. The other one that they do is on the first night, they have a PJ party on every ship. So everyone kind of, and I like this. At first I was really against it, but on the first night, everyone kind of dresses up in pajamas. and there's normally another smaller party, sorry, in the back of the ship away from the pools. But everyone's wearing the pajamas, and some people, I wore my onesie. Some people are wearing like sexy nightwear, like silk pajamas. Some people are dressed up and they've got costumes on. But that's a really nice fun. But I think it's nice that the first night's casual. It's not a really formal dress party. It's a really casual, everyone in their slippers. I think it puts you at home and comforts you at that first night that everyone's dressed casually. So I think I've grown to love PJ Party. First of all, I was a bit like, I don't like this. This is my jam. But I've really fallen in love with PJ Party. It's such a fun way to start the cruise.
I didn't know that, but yeah, I'd embrace pajamas because I like pajamas. I live in them.
I think there's nothing more though. Say like if you've traveled, and you've done your travel day, you're flying in and you're tired or whatever. I think it's quite fun that, you go for your dinner and then you go to your room, put your pajamas on and then go and have a bit of a party, a few cocktails under the stars. The hostess and the diva, they do a couple of songs type of thing. They bring out hot cookies and walk around with hot cookies. It's just a really fun way to spend that first night.
Do they walk? Do you go to dinner in your pajamas?
I've seen it, but generally no. People normally do dinner, then get changed into the pajamas because PJ Party is quite late. I think it's like 10:30-ish. So it is late, it's not. Right. But again, come as you are. Some people do. Okay. So bear in mind, like I've seen people who've got silk nighties on, they've got heels on, they've got all their hair done. Like they go all out to be very, very attractive and sexy in their pajamas. So not everybody does what I do. I don't take anything seriously. I was wearing a Tyrannosaurus Rex fluffy onesie type of thing. So I wouldn't wear that to dinner. I don't have dinner time appropriate kind of pajamas, but some people do. Some people have really sexy like silk two pieces and all that type of stuff. So they look really glam.
I'm just intrigued. Probably do a more detailed trip report, although we've covered quite a lot in this, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got on my website, I am obviously a big, I can't even speak, a big Virgin Voyages fan. So I've got tons of content on my website. I've got a write-up about all the different theme parties, what people wear, the dressing guides, what to pack guides. I've got itinerary guides. I've got a review of this itinerary when I did it 2 years ago. I'm probably going to update that this year with the shore things, just so it explains kind of what shore things are on there. But yeah, I've got tons of content on my YouTube and my website. If anyone is interested in sailing Virgin Voyages, I definitely know how to help you make the most out of your time on board with Virgin.
And the good thing about the content on your site for Virgin is that you've been on the ships. You've not just been on for one press day and then think that you can.
Yes.
Right. Yes. It's the actual, this is what happened. This is like I've been on the flow rider.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I'm never going to get over.
And that's the thing, I've done all of the itinerary med. So there's 4 main itineraries in the Mediterranean, and I've done all 4 of them now. So yeah, I know the ports now. I know the ships really well. I've been on all 3 Virgin ships. So I know the differences in all the entertainments and all the shows. I know what's new as well, because as you say, and this is childish, but all my content is up to date based on what is happening now on the ships, not what was happening 2-3 years ago on the ships. So it's tooting my own horn, but I put a lot of work like you guys do into your website to keep it up to date and keep it relevant. And yeah, if anybody wants to see the latest menus, the latest entertainment, the latest itineraries, I constantly update to make sure I have what's relevant now. This is actually it's actually episode 52, but this is numbered episode 50 because we did 2 bonus episodes and we didn't number them. So actually this is the 50th episode of Magically Cruising, and who would have thought like a year and a bit later we would be on episode 50 or 52.
Yeah, I wish I'd champagne.
It's outside warm now in the sun.
Yeah. I'd have gone and got it by now. There's no way that'd have been sat there all that time.
I'll drink it now.
When Kieran gets back, we will maybe do a more detailed report. I suppose we need to look back at this and see if we've covered enough or whether there's more that's missing. But it's been interesting to see and have an in-ship experience, which I think is what we found or what we've decided is important going forward. So if you'd like to book a cruise with Virgin, Kieran, where do they book that?
So you can find me anywhere online under magical-traveller.com. So you can find my website pretty much just searching Virgin Voyages Magical Traveller and you'll find the landing page there. We always have an exclusive offer on. I'm not going to sales pitch in this, but we always have an exclusive offer on. So just reach out to me to ask what the latest offer is. And then you can find all my socials on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pigeon, whatever app you want. I'm on it under Magical TRVLR as well. And then you, Sarah, if the guys are looking to find your guides and your tips, where's the best place they can find that?
So you'll find general cruise content on Cruising with Kids and Cruising for all. And we're on all socials under that as well.
Other than that, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. In case you haven't realised, me and Sarah have probably a 30-second delay between when I speak and when Sarah hears me. So we've been trying to work around that delay this entire episode. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and we look forward to sharing cruise with you on the next episode. All the best. Bye.
That might be hard to edit.